Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, The Fat Lady Knits. But the fat lady is not knitting anything. I'm not in the mood right now. But let me tell you, before we get to what I've been doing, I am in awe of the crocheters out there. And that's interesting because the first craft I learned was how to crochet. And for a couple of weeks now, I've been thinking I need to crochet some pillowcases, but I can't find the right yarn. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, the 13 bins of yarn that I have, there isn't a single yarn that I can make a pillowcase from. And I can't buy yarn. So what am I supposed to do? If you have any suggestions, please let me know. Because I can't sneak any yarn into the house. I can't sneak anything else into the house. There's no room to even hide it. But I want to crochet. I feel like I want to crochet something. And the thing I'd really like are some pillowcases. And I want them in like this absolutely fabulous pattern that once I'm done, if anyone tries to take it off my bed, they're going to lose their fingers. Um, but to find the yarn. How come I don't have yarn that I can crochet pillowcases from? That does not make sense. And I don't want to do it in sock yarn. Sock yarn is designed for rough wear, sweaty feet, pressure. I want something softer, even though the pillowcases are for show only. No one better dare think they're going to put their head on those pillowcases. That's not going to happen. They're to look nice on the bed. Okay? So I've got to figure that one out. In the meanwhile, I've gone on and on and on and on. How are you? I hope you are well, happy, and having fun wherever you are. I was so happy last week. It was the first week of summer and it was cold. It was wonderful. Oh, I wanted it to last and for the rest of summer to be that cool. The powers that be weren't listening to me. It's so hot right now. You feel like climbing into the air conditioner. It is really hot. I don't like that. I hope that the next couple of days it cools down. But shh, other people just love the heat. I'm not one of them. Okay? So what have I been up to? Easy answer. Just take a look at my nails. Can you see that? No, it's just showing white. If you could see it, there. That's not dirt under my nails. That's dye. I decided, since I don't feel like knitting or crocheting, well, I do feel like crocheting, but since I don't feel like knitting, and I definitely am not in the mood to make socks, I was going to dye some yarn. And I said, you know what? I haven't really dyed yarn in a couple of years, so I'm probably a little bit rusty. Boy, was that an understatement. It's like I went back to the dinosaur age and forgot everything I learned. Let me show you what I did. Well, this one I like. Can you see that? See, I haven't figured out this damn lighting. But this is a yellow orange. And what's great about it, I wish it looked as metallic as it does here. It has different, there's darker and lighter and light. This really came out nice, okay? And if I had known it was going to come out this nice, I would have used 100-gram skein. But I wasn't sure because I knew I was rusty. But I think I know how to repeat it, okay? And I consider this a mini, so I can use it to accent something, but I really love the color. So I would like to see a pair, was I about to say a pair of socks? Well, it would make a nice pair of socks, but I would love to see something in these oranges. And it came out really nice because I'm looking and I'm seeing a light, a medium, and a dark, and it looks random. But until you knit it, you have no clue. I think I did three, and I think this is the best one of the three. Let me show you the other two. They're both in blue. Okay. And now this is interesting. I use different blue dyes and different concentrations. I was hoping, what was I hoping for? I was hoping for a light layer, a really, really light layer, a little darker, like a gradient, but splashed all over the place. And I was more successful in this one than in this one. This one I got three tones. You can see a light here and a little turquoise blue and a darker. That's all right. Unfortunately, we have the blue princess, so this will work for her whether it's a heel, a cuff, part of a sock. It's blue. She'll love it. And I'm a little disappointed with myself. I had planned to do this one in multiple colors because I love multiple colors, but I forgot. And when I saw how this one came out, I was like, let me try again. So I pulled this. But it's all right. Nothing to write home about, but okay. So, if you're an experienced dyer and you have any advice, please feel free to share. I can't guarantee you that I will take it, but please feel free to share because I am not good at following instructions. And if you're a novice and you want to try this, there are two ways. There's lots, excuse me. Yeah, I keep acting as though English is, actually it is a second language, but that's not the point. What is coming up next? New York sheep and wool. So if you're anywhere in the environs of Rhinebeck, New York, I'm sure there are dye classes, and I believe they sent an email out that the list of classes is online, and you can begin registration on the 1st of July. So I'm sure they're dye classes. And if they don't have what you are looking for, you can always try online. I know that Rebecca of Chemnitz, I watched a lot of her videos in like 2017, 2018. I watched them and I started dyeing yarn and I didn't do a thing she said. Okay, but it was nice to see her process. And I was like, that's good, but I don't have to do it, and I didn't. And I'm still coming out with stuff that I love because I really like this. And I started out to dye a pale lemon yellow, but then I forget I have a really heavy hand. When I saw the pale yellow, I was like, when it dries, it's going to be lighter, so I need to add more. Then I added more, and it stopped being pale yellow. Then I said, you know what? These people are always overlaying with other shades. Let me try that. What I didn't realize is I have a heavy hand, and this is a little bit of yarn. So when I put it in the cup, and I had the yarn in the metal container on the stove, and I was pouring with my cup, I forgot, because there's so little yarn, the dye spread like wildfire. That's why I ended up, you can't see it, it's 3 shades, but it looks like one. I wish it was shiny like this. That would be awesome. But I don't think I've ever seen yarn shiny like this. But if anyone ever figures it out, please let me know. I'm willing to be your first customer. Okay? And as for my fingers, at some point I will stick them in bleach and all this blue will come out. Okay, so that was dyeing. That was fun. Now give me a minute. I have learned these things make me thirsty, so let me have some water. Okay. What else have I been doing since I'm not knitting? I've been bit by another bug. Remember this? Okay. Well, look at this. I've been practicing. I must say, I really, you can see I'm a beginner because you can see those stitches sticking out here. But what is awesome about this is you can, after you do it, unless you close the top, this is a little pocket. I think that is so cute. This one too. I didn't close it up. A little pocket. I don't know what you would ever put in this, but this has so many possibilities. Think of a hat, a scarf, um, a pair of mittens, a pair of gloves with this unnecessary darning. Which reminds me, I saw a book. There's someone on Facebook with visible creative mending. And I tried to buy the book because the author sells it herself. And I wanted to support her. Plus, since I've been bitten by the bug, I wanted to see how she did what she did. I probably would never do it the same way. But the book is from the UK, and apparently they only ship in the UK, which kind of doesn't make sense. I'm not sure. Maybe it's prohibitively expensive for her to ship abroad, but I was really disappointed. And then she sent out a message saying that she has a series of online lectures and demos that will teach you how she does what she does. And that's a great idea, except for people like me. I'm never gonna even if I buy it, I'm never gonna watch it. How many lessons did I buy from Craftsy that I have never watched? I have a small library, and the only thing I watched was the dyeing one. I have not watched any of the knitting, any of the crocheting, or anything else that I bought. So I know I can't. I wish I could get the book. Maybe in the future she'll make them available to those of us who are not in the UK. Or next time I or someone in my family goes to the UK, I'll have them get the book for me and bring it back. Okay? And because I love this mending so much, I think this is so much fun, especially if you travel, because you're on the train or the bus doing it, and the movement of the train or the bus does not affect this the way I find it affects knitting. I do have to say I added a helper, a comb, because after you do one line, think of it as weaving. I'm like, no, we need to beat it and push it down because I want it to be as tight as possible. So, and I have two. That way I can drop one in my bag and put one on the table so I'm never searching. Because, well, I haven't scraped it yet. I have no need of combs, so that's not something I keep track of. And because I love this so much, what did I do? I went a little nuts. I bought the square one. Let's turn it this way, thinking I could do sweaters. I could mend sweaters. Yay! Oh my goodness. Or I could put design on sweaters. And what happened? I went looking for sweaters. This is not a sweater family. This is a sweatshirt and fleece family. And lumberjack, what's that material? I call it lumberjack fabric. They make blankets out of it. But whatever it is, I'm like, we don't wear sweaters around here. So if I want to put a creative mend on a sweater, I'm going to have to first either buy the sweater or make the sweater. And these two are all right. They are. Okay. Oh, sorry, don't mean to, I'm not trying to blind you. But I bought this third one thinking I could do a grand design. This was a waste of money. This is so poorly done. Okay? The tines are facing in all kinds of directions when they shouldn't be. There's this big gap because this one is turned here. This one, oops, sorry, didn't mean to blind you. This one, by the looks of it, was not such a great idea. I'll try and use it, but I'm not sure what I would have, because I'm thinking since it has like 42 or 48 of these, that I can use it on anything. I just use the number of times that I want to, but I didn't realize it was so poorly made. And I tried to tape it down, see some duct tape up there, to try and make it more user-friendly. I'm not sure how successful that is. But if you're going to sell something, for God's sake, make sure it does what it's supposed to. This one was a disappointment, but that's all right. These two will probably be what I need. And oops, before I go, oh yes, what happened with the earring and the bracelet swap? She never showed up. I have no idea why. I don't know what happened. It is what it is. But someone gave these to me. And I'm going to turn these into a simple pair of earrings. Nothing complicated. I'm not going to spray them. I'm not going to add pearls. I'm not going to add silver or gold. Or I have some amber. No, the amber is the wrong color. And I have some coral. No, I'm just going to turn this into some nice earrings because as usual, I got ready to podcast and couldn't find my earrings. I do this to myself all the time. I hide things from myself, but it is what it is. But next time you see these, they should be dangling from my ears. And they're a nice color too. They look, yeah, they remind me of amber. Okay, so that's my next project. And maybe I'll dye some more yarn. But a tip here, if you're a newbie at dyeing yarn, do not start out by dyeing a 50 gram or 100 gram skein of yarn. Break it down into some minis. That way you have enough yarn to practice. And yes, you'll be disappointed when you dye something that you love and it's not a mini and you would have loved to have a 50 gram or a 100 gram. But more likely, you're going to, as a beginner, you're going to dye stuff that you are not going to like. You're not going to be fond of, and you might be deeply disappointed. And there's nothing worse than having a yarn that every time you look at it, you're like, and you, for the life of you, you can't think of what you would do with it. But do what you think is best. Just a tip, advice is free, experience you pay for. Okay, thank you for hanging out with me today. I enjoyed your company, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.